Carolyn Dube here. Today I'm playing in my art journal. And I started out with, all those bits and pieces that you have from other projects, scraps, trash, all sorts of things. And I randomly collaged them onto this art journal page that had some sort of yucky looking spray ink mess that I had. So I'm just kind of covering stuff over without thinking too much about it. Then I came back in and added some paint, some colors, some smears over it. So this is where my page started. And this is where my page sat. It sat like this in my art journal for quite a while, until my muse brought me some inspiration. And she brought it to me today, and so now I've got the video camera on and I can show you how I finished this page up. So now I wanted to put the word hope on here, so just using acrylic paint and a cosmetic sponge, I'm putting the letters down. If I'm smart, I wait for them to dry all the way, but I'm not that smart. So as I put this next letter on though, I start to wise up and go, it was really wet, so hit it with the heat gun. To make sure my letters line up, all I do is put them one on top of the other and then kind of slide them over. That's my fancy way of making sure things are kind of lined up. Well, I've got the word hope there and I want to put I heard hope, but I only have here on my stencil, but I'm going to turn here into heard. So I'm going to put here just where I want it, leaving enough room for the D afterwards and kind of looking underneath to make sure I'm happy with the placement. Using a cosmetic sponge with a stencil like this makes it really easy to isolate words or even just some of the letters when stenciling without having to do any fancy masking or protecting of surfaces. So here's what here looks like. Now I'm going to zoom in and show you how I attach the D. I'm going to take the D out of find and I'm going to attach it to here. So you get that little tail in the R. I'm going to make sure that little tail goes up on the D. So it's kind of lining that up. That's the most critical part, is to line that tail up on the D. Then I'm going to come in and I am just going to stencil the D and only the D. By doing this, it allows me to pull letters from one word and put them with another word so that I can create new words. So here's what heard looks like now. I wanted to have the I next to it, so now I'm going to come back and do the I, so it'll say I heard hope. These words can be combined to create phrases, sentences, whatever you want. And keep in mind, you can take pieces and parts of one word and add it to another. And I'm going to build on this with the next word that I add to my journal page. I wanted to add the word whisper, but only had the word whispered on the stencil. Well, not a problem. I'm just going to do everything but the ED on the end. I am going to put a post-it there because I'm notorious for forgetting what I'm doing and tend to stencil what I didn't plan to. So now I've got the word whisper on my page. Next word I'm going to add is the word B. So coming back in with the vintage typewriter alphabet, when looking at the uplifting word stencil, you can see it as one whole stencil or you can see it for its parts. It works both ways. Well, I want to take the word strong out of this, and all I'm going to do is turn that stencil so that I can put the word exactly where I want it. Now that cosmetic sponge is loaded with green paint. I didn't tap it off, so there's a lot of paint, and I'm going to push kind of hard on this because I love that imperfect, little bit of paint ran under the stencil kind of look with words. So that gives me an imperfect printing of it. If you like a more crisp image, just use a little less paint on the cosmetic sponge. Don't push as hard and you'll get a very crisp image. I tend to like the runny, messy, painty thing, so I'm going with that. And just the right amount of space was there for me to add the word go. So one last word added in here, and now I've got all the words on my page. Well, I really like the general composition here, the shape of things, the way the words go down the page. So now I'm just adding some of the details and the finishing touches. So this gets closer to the fiddle phase, a little bit here, a little bit there, as I make my decisions about what I want to add. Well, to make the letters pop a little bit more, one of my favorite things to do is outline them with some kind of something. For this one, I'm using a pen, and it is a Pilot Precise rolling ball pen. It is a fine tip, and I got it at the office supply store. If a pen starts to pick up some residue or something off of the paint, it'll clog up the tip, so that's why you'll see me write it off somewhere to kind of give it the best shot at not getting clogged. And really important to let the paint dry completely before you put this pen to it. And as long as I've got the pen out, I might as well do some of my scribble journaling. This is where I kind of process, dump, whatever you want to call it, the thoughts that I'm having. And in the process of doing this, that white space there started to bug me right below the blue, so I brought in some yellow. And I covered that over with yellow, and I should let this dry completely, but I'm not going to. I know you're shocked. I know you're shocked that 1, I had to cover up some white space with color, and 2, I can't wait for it to dry. I'm going to take this pen to it knowing full well it might ruin the pen, but I'm just not that patient. Pen doesn't write as well, and you'll see me clean the tip off more to try and save the pen as best I can. And I would like to say that no pens were harmed in the making of this video. That pen still works and still writes a great black fine line. Well, thanks for joining me for my art journal play today. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video with your friends so everyone can join in the fun. Thanks for being a part of this colorful journey.